Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about what I believe to be the most important subject of our age, and it is apathy, lack of motivation, because there's no excuse for stupid in this day and age, respectfully. Anything you want to know how to do, you can look it up. Basically, you can just Google it. So, it doesn't even matter how complex it is. You can just look it up. There's the instructions. Now you know what to do. And yet the people don't do it, especially the men. And I include myself. To those of you who are familiar with me, Howard Dare, you know that I speak deeply on the psychological, emotional, cultural, social influences on men and what might be motivating them and how a man can deal with it, interpret it, react to it, such that he can still have a good and decent life. So I'm focused on all these, basic situations and ways of looking at the world and dealing with physical, emotional, psychological health and well-being, essentially for men, although it works for anybody, This is what I focus on. And I've done thousands of videos over the years. And yet, for me, it all seems to boil down to this one element. And that is that the men, the citizens, the people of a given culture or society are not motivated. They are apathetic. Yeah, they want to feel good. They hate to feel bad. And they'll do something to facilitate that situation. It's more than their physiology. What I'm suggesting is that the way that people are being treated is influencing their fundamental, basic life energy and motivation. Why are the men not motivated? And to me, it's because they are being treated unfairly. Why are the people unmotivated? And to me, it is because they are being treated unfairly. What type of motivation can you have to perform a difficult, even painful task if there's no reward? There's no advantage. There's every bit of disadvantage. So just this basic law of the conservation of energy. In other words, I'm not going to waste my physical energy to do something that doesn't benefit me in any way. I might need that energy for something that can make a positive difference in my life. So I'm not here to throw away my time, my energy, my motivation. These are resources of they're limited. So I can't waste them. So if they say, here's a job for you to work, but you're not going to earn any money, at the end of the whole situation, you're basically just going to be breaking even, okay? Which is better than falling behind, isn't it? But you can understand why somebody would not be motivated for anything like that, okay? In other words, you're on the baseball team and I want you to step up to the plate and hit a home run. But I'm going to have somebody else run the bases and we're going to put your achievement under their name. So how motivated are you to get up there and to do your best? And the answer is not very much. What I'm suggesting is that on a societal, on a social, on a cultural, emotional, psychological, through the media, this basic motivation, this basic self-care has been stripped away from the people. And we've been watching it happen for, 40, 50 years as corporate profits rise, as the quality of life for the top 5% rise. And no matter how hard the bottom 95% working class works, their wages don't rise. The quality of their life doesn't rise. As a matter of fact, it keeps going down, okay? This is a transfer of wealth, is what it is. This is, stealing from people. And then giving them psychological, emotional, cultural reasons for why it's okay to cheat them and to do them wrong and to do them dirty, okay? So you've got a consumer society which is manipulating people with propaganda, advertisement, identity politics. It goes deep. It's fundamental to their metabolism, to what they eat, to how much they exercise, to how they feel about their lives. So we would rather bombard you to get you to buy a cheap, meaningless product than we would to give you the insight, the motivation, the just basic fair treatment, okay, to keep you motivated, right? So you're a boss and you need to hire some men for a job. And you're like, I'm going to pay them. The market rate is, say, $25 an hour for this job. But if I go to the right people in the right neighborhood, illegal aliens, I can get them to do this work for $10 an hour, okay? So I get them, because this is the kind of boss I am. And now I put them into a work situation where I'm saying, okay, I want you to take approximately $25 worth of risk and effort and sacrifice, and I'm only going to give you $10 for it. And the man looks at me and he's like, well, you're cheating me. And I'm like, yes, but it's better than nothing. Okay. So the man says, yeah, that's true. And I have nothing. Therefore, I will do this work. Okay. But he feels like a fool. He feels like a piece of garbage. He feels like he's 2 inches tall, but he makes this sacrifice. He tells himself this is what he needs to do. This is basically how it works with me. But this kills the motivation. This creates shame. This drags a person down. Their metabolism, their motivation, their enthusiasm to do this work, which is really the work of maintaining their life. Like I'm saying, it's a job that pays, it should pay 25, but it's only paying 10. But they're doing this so that they can pay their bills, so that they can have their basic necessities in life, so that they can sustain and maintain just their existence. This is a noble activity. This is a virtuous pattern of behavior. This is something to commend, to compliment. This is a character quality to nurture, this willingness to interact with reality in such a way that you're improving your situation. This is a wonderful quality. Congratulations. I admire it. It is admirable. But if within this process, the man and the individual or woman is cheated, is manipulated, is abused, is mocked, is used for somebody else's status gain, usually at the individual's loss of status, they're going to feel like garbage about it. Interesting. So you see the life of our most advanced technological civilizations, like America, and more of the people, they don't want to work. They don't want to take care of their health. They don't want to improve their situation in life. They want to feel good. They want to indulge themselves. When they feel bad, they have no motivation to do anything. What a shame. Isn't that just too bad? What's a person gonna do? I guess this is just a situation of life. And to a degree it is, but it's not. This is being done intentionally, on purpose, with design. Okay, so, the young person is sitting around watching TV, and the values, the things that are important in life, the things that get group approval, the things that make an individual move forward and feel good about their existence are represented as these things which deny their individual self-motivation. I often see aspects of society, the rules, the regulations, the enforcement of these rules. I see this as a masculine influence, okay? The emotions, the support, the caretaking, the concern for people's feelings. I see this as a feminine kind of quality within culture and society. So it's as if the rules, the regulations, the expectations are like a strong father's influence upon us. And this is from society. And the emotions, the nurturing, the taking care of the motivation, I see these as feminine, mother-like qualities. And these qualities have been abandoned, just as women have left their role in the family dynamic. Like, there's no reason why a woman should have to take care of a child. I'm going to, pursue my career. The women have abandoned that station. The children then suffer. And of course, the men, suffer with it because of their expectations. I feel like all of the unemployed people, if you could motivate them, if you could just give them a fair deal, all right? If you could just give them a fair option, you could mobilize a force that is unimaginable. But if you abuse them and exploit them and try to try to make so much money off of them without even giving them enough to survive, you're going to get apathy. You're going to get a lack of motivation. You're going to get all the resources and all the knowledge to know what to do in life and zero motivation to do it. Actually, an effort to not do it. Okay. So you've got this cultural mother and father, because the father has now turned bad as well. This is the cultural aspect of it, just abusing the hell out of its citizens so that this small percentage of people can then step above and say, look at how great I am. And of course, it's not true. You know what I mean? It's a psychological trick they're playing on themselves. And so anybody who they have power over, anybody whose existence they can influence is now a slave, is now a piece of garbage, is not even human, is just their plaything. So no wonder why there's no motivation. Motivated self-interest is the engine of humanity, okay? It's what makes people do the hard and difficult things. If you steal all the profits away from the individual, you've killed motivated self-interest. Thanks. Thanks, mom. Thanks, dad. So you're dealing with people that are emotionally and psychologically, and this is on a cultural level, okay, that are abusing you, that are taking advantage of you, that are mocking you, that are belittling you. And therefore, you don't even feel like going out of the house. You don't even feel like making an effort because you know that no matter what you do, you're going to get cheated for somebody else's advantage. And we have normalized this behavior. So the fact that you feel unmotivated, congratulations. That's what you're supposed to feel when you're being cheated. The fact that you're MGTOW, congratulations. That's what you're supposed to be when you're being cheated. You're supposed to walk away from a bad deal. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, you want to do these 8 hours of work and I'll pay you a half of a ham sandwich? And you're like, no, I don't want to do 8 hours of work for half of a ham sandwich while you laugh at me and mock me and belittle me, and I feel like garbage about it. And this behavior, this pattern has become normalized. What did you expect? This is how we do it. But it isn't always how we did it, and it doesn't even make sense, and this is a basic MGTOW premise right here. It's like, okay, you can do this wrong bullshit, but you're going to pay a price. It's going to come back. If you kill the motivation of the men and all of the people, eventually, they're not going to work. They're just going to lay there. They're not going to have kids. They're not going to save money. They're not going to build new things. They're not going to find ways to advance civilization because there's no motivated self-interest. So now, no matter what the company builds, okay, so Apple now has a new iPhone, the iPhone, 17 or something, right? And it only costs $2,000, okay? None of their people are motivated to buy any of this stuff. None of the people have the money to buy any of this stuff. None of the people care about, well, you see, that's the thing, okay? They do care about the status that these consumer goods will give them. That they do care about, but they can't afford that. But they can work as a slave within that consumer society for those who can afford it for a half of a ham sandwich a day. And should they make the mistake of getting married and having children and trying to do exactly what human beings have been doing since the beginning of their existence, as bipedal human beings, then the system has them by the balls. Then the system can say to them, I need you to work this weekend and I'm not even going to give you a half of a ham sandwich. I'm just not going to fire you. And then when you come in on Saturday morning, the boss is like, good morning, good to see you. How you doing? Because he feels great because he's making a ton of money, okay? But you feel like garbage because you're being exploited, taken advantage of, and abused, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you're like, oh yeah, good morning, boss. And in your mind, you're thinking, F you, asshole. And he's like, okay, we've got this big job. I'm real motivated. Ooh, we're going to build this thing. It's going to be great. And all of his workers are thinking to themselves, we're not even getting a half a ham sandwich out of this. It's not going to be great. It's horrible. It's wrong. It's unfair. So that's what you're living in, a situation that's horrible, that's wrong, that's unfair. You're not supposed to be motivated. Now, let's get to the last part. What if you accomplishing this particular task that you are unmotivated to do determines whether you survive or not? Because that's what the situation really is. I'm saying it like, oh, this is an extreme situation. No, this is exactly what you're facing every day. Either you get up, go to work, do the thing, even when you don't feel like it, or you don't survive, or the quality of your life, degrades, and eventually you don't survive. So now you're facing that. You have zero motivation, zero energy, and if you don't do what needs to get done, you're not going to make it. That's the hell that we exist in on purpose, intentionally. And again, even from the boss's point of view, like, you might think to yourself, well, if I were in charge of all of this, giant corporation, and I'm making billions of dollars, good deal. I've made it. Have you? None of the people that are working for you can afford any of your products. Now, it might take 20, 50 years for the system to break down. And in that time, you, the boss, who's, running this exploitive situation, you're doing well. So what can you do? Right? Well, MGTOW, right? You have to disassociate yourself, your motivation, from the people who are trying to exploit you. Are there things that you could do that would only accrue to you? Yeah, there are. Diet, exercise, study, relationships with people who are fair-minded and, sympathetic and understanding and intelligent. Is it a guarantee? No, it's not. Do you have complete control over it? No, you don't. You can wake up some mornings and, feel great. Man, no matter what happens, you're there, you're ready, you've got this. And you can wake up other mornings when, things are really critical and you could feel nothing. You could feel like, to do this is to degrade myself. So you don't have total control over it. Now, what do you do when you don't feel like doing anything and you need to do something? Nice little trick. If you're apathetic, if you have no feelings about doing something, okay, but you don't want to do it, you can take that apathy, you don't care, and you can say to yourself, I don't care that I don't care. Aha. So you can put your own apathy to work for yourself, right? Give it a try, right? It might work out. Then you do the thing you need to do to feel the way you wish to feel and to have the things that you wish to have, and you still don't feel it. And you still don't have it. But you know that when the time comes where you will have it, where you will feel it, you'll be ready. There'll be no delay. It's like whenever I run out of food, right? And it happens, right? It's like, I've got no money to buy food. It's like, well, this is a great time to start a diet. Whenever I get sick, like with a cold or a virus and I'm laid up for a few days, I say to myself, well, this is a great time to start a diet, right? Like I didn't feel like eating anyway. So I use those first few days, to start the fast and the diet. So, there's things that you can do with yourself. And this requires a little bit of self-knowledge. But if your health isn't there, if you're eating, the processed food, the refined carbs that the consumer society is selling to you, if you're chasing the status and the approval of the cultural, societal mother and father and the group approval, it's going to destroy you. Some of it's fine. Use some of it for motivation. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your diet. You have to take care of your exercise. You have to take care of your stress. You have to take care of your sleep. Now you're being cheated and you're being treated unfairly. So the motivation and the apathy and the resentment, that's bound to happen. But it can create this horrible cycle, this downward spiral. Okay. And this is what I see. This is, the downward spiral, right? The story of the Industrial Revolution, Ford and the assembly line. He wants to pay his workers enough so that they can buy his products that they're making for him. It's sustainable. That we don't have that. We have a giant assembly line, and the people running, the company, they just want to exploit the people for as much as they possibly can. Now, it might sound like I'm making a communistic, socialistic argument. I am not. That's just as bad, if not worse. Okay, because now you're being cheated, and you should be angry. And you should do something, I don't know exactly what, to alleviate and get yourself out of this situation. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not sustainable. It's not decent. You should not treat people this way, even though your entire society and all the people have treated you this way. This does not justify the theft of individual property and distributing it to people who haven't earned it. That would take even more of your motivation away. Like, you've got an option here. There's some things that you can do here. You can be apathetic about your apathy and still do the good things and the right things that will advance your health, your well-being, and your future. And even if it doesn't give you the results that you're looking for right now, which that would be a great dopamine hit, you can move forward knowing that when the time comes, that you'll be ready to take advantage of the opportunity. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some insight, as to dealing with your own inner self in an unfair situation. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. I need your support. There is no support for this channel. Like, I'm not doing YouTube advertisement or selling products or anything like that. I'm trying to talk to you about the things that might be meaningful to you and important to you. You are my audience, okay? You're the one that I work for. So if you're in a position to do so, please find my Cash App donation link, click on it, and, make a donation to the Howard Dare channel. Otherwise, I won't be able to continue to do this. I'm going to leave it at that. Join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.